Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, we're going to talk about Apple chart, and we're going to put something very important that just took place that will have implications on Apple and the way they report things moving forward, that will also have a ricochet effect on other companies that are going to be reporting any kind of company related information moving forward. So oftentimes, we've posted a bunch of bearish videos on Apple before the big drop took place right here, because the base case that we had is anything that has to do with China or sales deriving from China that is a big portion of a particular company, they will take a hit in 2024. So that was the base. Besides the charts. So we've came in, we shorted Apple right before the beginning of 2024. There was some bearish videos. Also, there was a bearish video right before this big drop off. Then you've got a Bank of America analyst that upgrades an Apple temporary pumps. And since then, it's been nothing but a beautiful short, right, straight lower. And now we're at a level where finally you got a blue line crossing the orange line to the downside. That is a bearish sign. There's just one bullish thing is MACD is about to cross this to the upside. Now, oftentimes MACD will do this. It'll come to an orange line and it'll move lower from there. That is as far as the chart. But overall, guys, there's a much bigger pattern that is evolving here on the Apple, and that is the head and shoulder. So you've got shoulder one, you've got the head formation, and you've got shoulder two right over here. So normally these shoulder formations, it doesn't mean, okay, well, I see a head and shoulder here, Leo, but it doesn't necessarily mean, okay, Apple's just going to collapse out tomorrow. But it does, like, for example, some of these head and shoulder patterns, they can go sideways, building out this shoulder a little bit more. So Apple could be going sideways, and clearly it could be going sideways for a little bit until it breaks this level. Now, the important information I'm going to share with you right now shows how Apple chart could have been entirely different, okay? Now, no secret. Here at 30 Market Moves, we knew that Apple was going to get hit with a slow in sales in China. That was a given. The question is, how did the fucking CEO of Apple didn't see it? So let's go through this. Okay, Apple just paid out $490 million to basically being defrauded by shareholders, concealing falling demand on iPhone in China. And basically referring to Tim Cook analyst call. Now notice this was not the earnings call, but an analyst call is something where, they get together a bunch of investors and they talk about, the current state, they talk about the future, but oftentimes similar information would be talked about during the earnings call. So this is a simple giveaway that you can put the two and two. This is an easy pathway to trade in next Apple earnings call. Basically, they're saying, well, Mr. Cook, during your analyst call on November 1st, 2018, you mentioned there was going to be some turbulence in Brazil, India, Russia, Turkey. But you didn't say anything about China. And his rebuttal is like, well, I don't consider China at that time having any currency weakening, so I didn't put it on this list. So he was seeing a potential turbulence in Brazil, India, Russia, Turkey as a result of their currency depreciating. Therefore, that was going to probably impact the way they were going to report income out of these countries. But he didn't say anything about China. And yet 3 days later, he makes a call to the Chinese factory and he says, hey, hold up, y'all. Let's slow down the iPhone production because we just ain't going to sell as many. So the question is, between here, November 1st and November 3rd, how many things did change and why the fuck did he not mention anything? Okay, and let's put it in perspective in terms of a chart. So where was that on the chart? It was right here. Do you guys think if he actually came out publicly at that moment and said, hey, We're going to lose about $9 billion in profit, potentially more, potentially a little bit less. But look, guys, Chinese market just looks like shit to us right now. Do you think Apple shares would have even made this leg higher to begin with? Arguably, yes, because you could say, well, the rest of the market was going higher, and sure, Apple could have gone higher. Or maybe we wouldn't have such a big of a rally, at least in some of the technology stocks, right? Because, well, shit. A lot of technology stocks could have maybe taken a sign that Apple China sales worsening could be a red flag for the rest of the market. But yet he didn't say anything about it. On the third candle here, he's reducing production in China, and basically just, it sounds like he knew. He knew. You don't just wake up one morning, hey guys, fuck it, let's slow down production. Like, to do that, that decision was probably made way over here. So, but moving forward, now he actually got slapped with 490 million. What are the results of that, right? And so he publicly announces Apple on January 2nd. That was the part of our big short. Okay, we got a position right before this drop on the chart. And so that was the biggest drop on Apple, was January 2nd, when he publicly goes and says, hey, our China sales are going to be shit. Okay, so boom, there it is. And even after that, I'm telling you, these Wall Street analysts, I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're smoking sometimes. This guy says Apple is the most underpriced fucking stock, blah, blah, bullshit. Bank of America analyst. Okay, and this is why it pops. And I said, somewhere around here, we were posting a video on Apple saying, don't get hit by an apple. Okay, and so those of you that bought calls, you did get hit by an apple pretty hard because it just continues falling. So the question is, for those of you that missed all those bearish videos, okay, there's 2 points here, okay? Will Apple drop? When will it drop? How can you catch a time frame of the next Apple drop? And how bad can it drop? And that's as far as Apple concerned. But bigger implications on how does Apple move forward. So let me underline one time frame of where for sure you know that Apple will drop, and that's going to be during the next earnings date. Apple reports earnings on May 2nd. I know, guys, I'm recording this on March 16th, but when stuff like that happens, okay, especially with us, the way we trade earnings, this information is critical because this stuff that just transpired is going to change the way Apple is going to report earnings, such as, for example, if Apple is doing extremely great, okay, going into May 2nd earnings report, they're still going to be highly, highly conservative. You know, the earnings report consists of three things, okay? It's, your current earnings for the last quarter, okay, your earnings per share, your revenue number, and then the most important number is your forward-looking guidance. So do you think, after just paying $490 million on this bullshit, okay, Tim Cook, as the CEO of the company, okay, is not going to cover every possible market that could not be doing good? Oh, damn right, after this lawsuit, he's going to be extra cautious. And what you have as the result of what just transpired on May 2nd, it doesn't matter what price Apple trades at, doesn't matter how good things look for Apple, okay? The guidance is going to be so conservative that they will sell the fuck out of Apple, okay? That is the result. So you short Apple ahead of the earnings report on May 2nd, okay? And clearly don't be shorting it now, okay, because we got time and time and time. But if you want like a 100% sure fucking thing, okay, you short Apple the day before, the night before the earnings report comes out, and you're guaranteed a drop. You're guaranteed a drop on the stock. But sometimes you got to notice what's happening in the markets, put together things in perspective. Because, look, imagine if things are actually going bad for the Apple ahead of this earnings report. Well, the guidance is just going to be bad times 10x to just cover any potential slowdown in any kind of market, okay, it's going to be a highly conservative forward-looking statement about the sales number. Imagine if Apple comes out and says, hey, we're slashing our revenue numbers on May 2nd by 10% moving forward for the rest of 2024. Oh shit, yeah, that would get everyone's attention. That would, and let's say Apple may be thinking, okay, well, our sales can drop off 5%. But just to be on the safe side, they're going to have to say now, oh shit, the sales could be dropping 10, 11%. And that would be the end of Apple. And when I'm saying the end of Apple, let's go back and look at a slightly longer time frame chart. So let's go 2 years. Let's go 2 years on Apple and see like what can actually happen. So in all those bearish videos that were posted on our channel over the course of the last 3 months on Apple, basically we're saying a target price of 130, 140. So right now we're forming this head and shoulder formation. Head and shoulder formations, okay, that's where stocks, like there's going to be a point in time where Apple's just going to drop the fuck out here. And that drop is not going to be a one-day drop, it's just going to continue dropping. As you can see, even on this 2-year time frame, you got same message right here on the chart. You got the average is just about to make a death cross, okay? The accumulation distribution at historic highs are close to it, okay? You've got multiple signs. You've got certainly this blue line right here, that's your RSI. It's on a bounce now because people are buying the dip around this level. So this level of 170, right? It dips under it, it jumps out above. It dips under it, it jumps above. It dips under it just now, and it's jumping above it. So as I pointed out in a head and shoulder formation, okay, something can go sideways for a little bit until it makes this big drop. And so Apple will be trading at some point this year at 130, 140 a share. Okay, it's going that much lower. Okay, so and I think that huge move could be coinciding going into that earnings report or shortly after that earnings report. I wouldn't be shocked if Apple was down this much by May. Now, again, I'm recording this on March 16th. I mean, we're not that far. I mean, we're like 45, 50 days away, roughly. Calendar days, not trading days. And guys, I mean, this is a huge drop. I mean, Apple shares could be tanking from 172, not to say that they cannot initially go to 175, 176 and then drop. So that gives even a better opportunity to short it. But Apple shares could be going as low as 135. That's a fact, okay? And that wouldn't even be touching the 2023 lows where Apple was trading at 125. So there's a huge drop in Apple. It does not mean it's going to begin collapsing pretty much soon, but it can. We got a major setup going into this trading week where a lot of things are going to be happening, guys. I'll be posting a lot of videos this weekend that carry great significance. If you want to catch a 30, 50x, possibly 100x trade, I'm going to be revealing a lot of information about that. But as far as Apple, we use it as a guide. Apple by itself is an index, okay? And now we just found out that Apple by itself is an index of lies, just like everything else, just like they manipulate the reports on the job reports, the retail sales numbers, all of that shit. So the problem with this is when Apple is withholding information that if you're CEO of Apple, clearly you would have known your China sales are going to drop, but you withhold this, and as a result, or partially, why the chart looks like this here is because they didn't say anything about it. Well, they say something about it here. We've caught the bullshit back here, knowing that, yes, how can Apple sales cannot get hit in China? It was self-evident to us here at 13 Market Moves. But yet, first the stock goes all the way up here, okay? And this whole move could have been avoided because if you would have just said, okay, our sales are going to get hurt pretty badly in China, I mean, there would be no bounce here. We'd just get straight lower. The same thing as market bounces recently on strong job report like January, February. All of these job reports were crazy. And like, I'm not gonna go to the chart. Well, let me just go to S&P chart, okay, and show you. It's the first week of, okay, I mean, some of these big moves. Let's go to a 3-month chart on S&P. Guys, all of these big moves, right? I mean, they were right here, February. This was the big job report. So the jobs reported were like 355,000. Okay, and now they've unwinded to almost 200,000 jobs. They said, well, shit, we didn't calculate it perfectly, but hey, the actual job number is like almost $200,000 less than we made the market believe here. Okay, this is nothing different from what Apple has done on November 1st on the analyst call. Okay, but see, nobody's catching that bullshit here, and the market is actually able to get away with these fake bounces higher, which is why for 2024, guys, we're telling you the base case is stagflation. You short all these fucking bounces, you short them, because at one point you cannot masquerade this bullshit anymore. At one point, Apple, okay, is forced to say what's really fucking happening. At one point, the Fed, nobody like Biden cannot manipulate these economic numbers because they deteriorate to a point to where you cannot. This is a fucking crime during daylight, and the market is able to get away with this kind of bullshit. Okay, 350,005 jobs created. Bullshit, right? We find out the number was overstated by almost 65%. But yet, can you take that out of this chart? No, this is going to be here permanently. Okay, the market reaction to this fake job number was permanent. It's always going to be here, okay? But you cannot rewind that. Okay, they can rewind the report, but guess what? Nowhere here when we find out this week the jobs are complete shit, okay? Well, you don't see a big drop in the market, do you? Okay, shouldn't the market just rewind all these fucking gains and just be here as a result of understanding this, what the bullshit they're feeding us? It's 100% fake, okay? But no, but understand, just because it has not happened yet, it is gonna happen. And it's gonna happen in a way like you've never fucking seen it in the history of the markets, okay? It's one by one. It's just like, okay, the fake statistics, the fake numbers, the fake Apple stuff knows ahead of time their sales. I mean, they got enough money to hire the best people to calculate all this shit. Of course they knew, okay? But the market is just so forgiving. The market is forgiving about these big move right here in the market. The market is forgiving about Apple stuff. Apple should be down already, way, way lower than where it's at. But there comes a moment in the market where it is no longer forgiving about the shit that's taking place. And I think we're getting super extra close to that moment in time. I mean, you got your MACD already crossing after the bear cross right here. It's going lower. You've got your RSI bear divergence. I mean, that shit, this is very clear. Actually, this new form of the way stock chart is doing this is actually very clear for a lot of people to see now how divergence actually works. So basically, look at this blue line is your RSI. And basically, the candles clearly represent the price action in the S&P 500 index. So you've got S&P moving higher for the last 3 weeks as what happens as the RSI keeps going lower. Okay, that's your bear divergence. The RSI is telling you that the market is weakening while the price action is moving higher, which tells you this price action higher will get unwinded to the downside at the speed of light. There is a moment in time when all these fake moves, okay, that are based on total bullshit, okay, They're no longer going to be happening. And the market has a lot of these fake bullshit programmed into it at this point to where we will get a move expansion beyond 60 points. It is going to be a colossal drop. I mean, the probability of the market dropping 30% in one day is not out of a question. So with that said, I'm going to bring some more light onto this, but also the complications of Aapl getting hit with this lawsuit. I think a lot of other companies that will be reporting earnings or will be hosting an analyst call or will be reporting any kind of public information, they will also get really, really conservative when they're going to be giving guidance just to be on the safe side. So what Aapl has just done to the market, okay, I think a lot of companies are going to take notice of and expect some very conservative numbers. So in other words, companies that are reporting earnings reports right now, they're going to tone them down. They don't have to tone the current number. That current number, it is what it is. If company earned $1.31 a share for this quarter, they're reporting, fine. The revenue number is what the revenue number is. Okay, but the guidance, it's the guidance. Okay, the market does not buy stocks based on the current report. They buy stocks based on where the stock is going, not what it's doing now. And considering this moment in time and what just happened to Aapl, companies are going to get very fucking conservative on their guidance. And since it's the guidance part of the earnings report that really propels the stock higher or lower, okay, expect a lot of stocks to drop. It's not like we didn't have already a lot of stocks dropping, but expect a shitload of stocks to drop. Because again, Aapl is sort of an index by itself to what the rest of the stocks are going to be doing. And now that Aapl get hit with a $409 billion fine or agreement, the settlement is done, it's over with, okay, it tells you that, I mean, anyone that wants to just pay out quicker without going through the court procedures, they're probably thinking, well, shit, how much worse can this shit get? So they'd rather pay out. So they really had something there. And guys, at this point, other companies are going to be extra cautious, which results in very conservative guidances, which results in stocks dropping rather than moving higher. So big market observation. I hope you guys put it to good use. But we've got some even more interesting market observations, which can help you put together 50x, 100x trades next week. So don't miss the next few videos, guys. If you are ready to rock and roll and take your account to the next level, make sure you visit 13mmtv.com, click the big orange button. We have a contest right now, 10x your account in 10 trading days. Sign up to do that with the 13 Market Moves coach. Let's roll.